All right, folks, welcome to our second part of working on our Onshape shed. So first thing you need to do is go into your Onshape account. You should have this thing called Shed 2024 or whatever we called that before. And go ahead and click on that to open it. And that opens your project that you were working on. Last time we did this assembly of the floor. If you are not to this point yet, then you're going to need to get to this point. So you need to go watch previous videos to get to this. Sometimes perspective kind of bugs you. If you like to go in here, you can also turn or not perspective is you can turn perspective on if it makes you feel better by going to this little cube, or turn perspective off because it gets a little weird. So it's up to you as to how you want to deal with that. I think I'm going to turn it on just because I can see things a little better. Okay, so first thing that we are going to do is we're going to start a new thing. But before we do that, in Part Studio 1, and if you never got started, we made 3 rectangles and extruded them to, let's remember what that is, 117, 93, and 96. And if you're not there, ask somebody that seems to know what they're doing to help you out. And we named those things over here. So we're going to go ahead and start a new Part Studio by clicking on the plus over here. And we are going to create a Part Studio. Okay. For this one, we're going to work from the top up, even though it won't always work that way. So we're going to sketch on the top plane. So we're going to hit sketch, click on the top to choose that plane. And then I like to choose P to turn the planes off, and N will bring us perpendicular to that. And we should be looking at top right here in the view cube. And we're currently in a sketch, and we know that because this window right here is open. Don't close that because that needs to remain open while we're in this sketch. And we're going to make a total of 10 boards that are going to be for the wall. Actually, I'm sorry, I take that back. We're going to do the floor first. So we're going to make 2 different rectangles here. So let's use our corner to corner rectangle. Do that command. We're going to hook up to the front by clicking and then pulling the mouse out. Now notice that some numbers show up before you click. If you messed up, hit undo and try it again. And as we drag this out, now this is going to get a lot bigger, but we're going to click. It doesn't really matter where. And after you've clicked, you're going to enter those numbers, which are 48 one way. So you hit 48, enter, and 96, enter. Okay. Now we can zoom out with the mouse wheel, and we've got a panel that's 48 by 96. And we need to make one more just over here somewhere. You can line it up if you want. Okay. And this one is going to be, we're going to click, and that one is going to be 24, enter, 96, enter. And again, if those numbers don't show up, just hit undo and try that one again. Okay. Now this one has blue lines just because we can take this. Whoops, I'm still in the line command. Undo. Undo is your friend when you mess up. Escape is also your friend. It'll get you out of a command. But blue just means it can move back and forth. We haven't locked it to anything, but that'll still work. All right. We're going to finish sketch. I like to use my right mouse wheel to kind of tilt things when I go to extrude, because otherwise it's really hard to see. And we're going to hit extrude and click on both of those profiles, 1 and 2. Okay. And we're going to make that depth 0.75. It's 3/4 of an inch is our standard thing. And those floor panels. I'm going to hit escape. Okay, now I'm going over here. I'm going to go ahead and name them. Let's right click on part 1 and rename it. And let's call that floor panel full. And let's name the other one, right click, rename, and let's call that floor panel half. It's a piece of plywood that's been cut in half. Okay, now I need to remember what color my original boards were. So I'm going to just go, you can look where edit appearance was. I'm on the top thing right under the blue. So let's go into that, and I'm going to select both of these by holding the control button down and say edit appearance for 2 parts. I'm going to choose that same color. Okay, we're going to make everything a wood color. You could make the flooring a little different if you wanted to. Okay. All right, now we're going to attach the floor to this guy. And there's kind of a specific way that we're going to do that. This is kind of the back where these two things are closer to each other, and this is the front. So we're in our assembly, and this time we're going to insert, and from Part Studio 2 we want to be in the current document, and we want Part Studios, and we're going to expand this Part Studio 2. Now it's still showing the old color, but it should bring in, well, we're going to drag in a floor panel full. Maybe I need to click on it. Oh, I'm thinking of a different thing. We're going to put 2 of those in, and we're going to put a half a panel in also. It doesn't really matter where you put it, and then we can exit out of this. Whoops, restore. I should have clicked OK. If that happens, you can click restore, and if it didn't work out, just undo and do it again. It didn't take us that long. All right. Now, I do have on my floor, I have one of those rails was fixed. You should see one thing and one thing only that has a fixed part in it so that things don't move around. Let's flip things around a little bit by clicking on this. And notice, remember these things that can move around? Sometimes you have to figure out which is which. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to rotate that guy 90 degrees, okay? Because that's the way it goes. Click anywhere or escape will get you out of that. And now this one's going to be a little bit tricky because I have to attach this down to this corner. So I'm going to go up to my fixed mate, fastened mate that we've used before. Zoom way in so I can see this corner right here. Down on the bottom, again, you have to kind of move around a little bit. Oh, geez. I'm having a hard time. Move till you can see it and hover over there. There we go. Click. I have the blue thing facing towards me. And then I'm going to pan and move around a little bit and get to this point. There we go. Blue thing facing towards me. It should stick up off of the floor. Good. If it doesn't, try it again. Okay. Now we're going to move this guy around. Whoops, I'm still unfastened. Got to hit escape. Messed up. Let's get out of that command. I'm going to click on this, spin it around to 90 degrees. Now this one I can choose the top because I can reference this board, and I can do this top corner to that top corner. So let's do that. I'm going to turn off my perspective because it's just a little easier to deal with assembling. All right, so I'm going to zoom way in. I'm going to do my fastened. This time I'm going to choose that corner with the blue sticking up and go into this other corner with the blue sticking up. Boink. And there's my second piece of plywood. And finally, the third one. Let's get out of this fastened command. Click on this, spin it around to 90 degrees. And we're going to do that same process again. Let's do our fasten mate. We're going to zoom way in, get that blue sticking up out in the corner, the blue sticking up on this corner, and good. And congratulations, we have now a floor that is done, and we're ready to start building our walls on top of that. So go ahead and take an image of that and turn it in, and the next one we'll be working on the walls. Good job. See you next time.